Hey guys, Tarnish here. Today I want to go into Holy and Disc Priest Legendaries for Shadowlands. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Now let's get into it. Alright, so I want to go into the general Legendaries first. Just go for all three specs of Priest. We have Cauterizing Shadows. What this will do is it affects your Shadow Ward Pain or Purge the Wicked of your disc. Um, when the Shadow Ward Pain or Purge the Wicked expires on the target, 3 allies within 30 yards will be healed for percentage of your spell power. 55% is what it says right now. This was actually just updated. I actually had already had this video completed, and they changed it and everything. So, this is going to be the newest version. It actually just updated about an hour and a half ago. So some of these changes may be new to me as well. So you're seeing it all live. This is a waist or feet slot, just something that you gotta look out for when you have overlapping legendaries in case in the future we get access to two of them. Measured contemplation. For every 15 seconds, you do not cast. Flash of Heal or Shadow Mend heals for 50% more. Doesn't sound very good. Maybe for Shadow Priest and PvP scenarios, I could see this becoming good, but realistically, you don't want to ever be encouraged not to cast a spell. So you can't not cast. I'm assuming that's everything. That's any spell. Not good. Twins of the Sun Priestess. This affects your power infusion, which we will be getting as we level up the Shadowlands. If you don't know what power infusion does, it infuses the target with power for 20 seconds, increasing their haste by 25 seconds. It's kind of like a little mini lust you get every 2 minutes. Kind of cool. A really big utility thing for a priest to have. Well, what the Twins of the Sun Priest does is it gives you and the target. So basically, when you put it on a target, this is benefiting you to put it on someone else. So when you put the power infusion on a DPS, for example, that's going to do a lot of damage. You'll get the same effect when you put it on them. So it's a useful item for raid or trying to parse or something like that. It's definitely very, very good. Vault of the Heavens. This is kind of a funny one. It reverses Leap of Faith. If you don't know what Leap of Faith is, the ability to grab someone, you pull them to you. This makes you jump to them, and you get 2 charges of it. So you could jump to somebody and then jump to somebody else. So you kind of bounce around. It sounds like a really fun, trolly one to use. Wrist and finger for that one. Sounds like a lot of fun. All right, now I want to go with the discipline only legendaries. I heard there was some nerfs and some changes to some of these, so we'll see how it goes. So clarity of mind. This one affected your rapture and or spirit shell. What it's doing is it's for rapture. Power Word Shield costs 20% less mana and applies 6-second longer atonements. And for Spirit Shell, it'll increase the duration of active atonements by 4 seconds, reduce the mana cost of damage dealing spells by 30%. So that's an okay one. It's not bad, but I feel like there should be some better legendaries out there. I feel like it'd be a little more impactful. I swear this one did something with your absorptions, but maybe not. Maybe that's a different one. Let's move on to the next one. That's going to be a chest and finger for that one, guys. Looks like they got inspired by the T19 Discipline 4-piece bonus for that one. It's interesting. Crystalline Reflections. This one I really looked at for PvP to see if they changed it at all. Shield instantly heals for... So Power Word Shield will instantly heal for 40% spell power and inflict 20% damage absorbed. Shoulder hands for that one. That one sounds really powerful for PvP. Kiss of Death. This one affects your Shadow Ward Death. Reduces the Shadow Ward Death's cooldown by 8 seconds and causes damage to trigger Atonement when used on targets below 20% health. So I'm assuming you're going to use that on an ally player. I don't really know how it would trigger an Atonement, unless it just goes to someone nearby. So I'm assuming you use it on a friendly player and it'll give it Atonement instead. I don't know. Or maybe it'll just do damage to and transfer to your atonement. Maybe that's what it's supposed to do. It's a weird one. I don't think we'll be using it. Especially if the target doesn't die, you take damage from using it. It just doesn't sound good. Obviously, any kind of healing spell you use that does damage to you is less effective. the pennant one, if I remember, is still the same. Yeah, okay. So your radiance has a 60% chance to cause your next penance to be free and fire 3 extra bolts. That's like double the amount of bolts. That is like insane. Oh, by the way, Kiss of Death, guys, is for legs or feet if you're listening to this. Um, so Power of Radiance is your raid healing spell. So you spamming that, get random procs to make your penances super long and free. Um, yeah, fire 3 extra bolts. Wow. That's a really long penance. That's like super long. So in PvP scenario, I think this will be kicked a lot, so you gotta be careful of that. PvE though, that just is a really long double the effectiveness of your penance ability. So that could be used. You could see use of that. I thought Clarity of Mind would increase the effectiveness of your shields, but maybe they took that off. Maybe they nerfed it that way. Um, during Rapture, your shields cost less. Okay. Less mana, apply 6 Well, Clarity of Mind is still a really strong legendary just because it increases your atonements and it reduces the mana cost. Or if you go Spirit Shell, it reduces the cost of your damage abilities and it increases the long duration of your increases duration of your atonements by 3 seconds. So I mean, it's a good one. Clarity of Mind and the Pennant one are the two that are really sticking out to me, and Crystal Reflection for PvP because that's just really powerful. You could shield your 3 man, and anyone that does damage, it reflects. The only thing I'd be careful about with certain comps, using something to damage somebody, like maybe a dot or something, and then they'll break you out of a sheep or a fear. So that's something to be careful about. Anything that can put a dot or something like that to get that reflection to break them out of CC. So that's really it for that one for PvP. But I mean, it still has a lot of use, especially in like BGs, like reflecting damage is OP. All right, and now I want to go over Holy Legendaries. So, first one is Divine Image. When you use a Holy Word spell, you have a chance to summon an image of Naru at your side for 15 seconds. When you cast a spell, the Naru will cast a similar spell. So this is actually something I've seen before recently. I think maybe in Legion or maybe Cataclysm. The slot's gonna be head or waist. Depending on how much that Naru heals, it says it's gonna mimic your heal. It depends how much it heals. That'll be the true teller on how good this is gonna be. It doesn't say any kind of spell, power, or anything like that. It just says a similar spell. So, and if it heals the same target, that's another thing. It's going to be a hard one to judge how good this one is. It's going to take some testing. That's going to be a head and waist slot. Flash concentration. Each time you cast Flash Heal, Heal has its cast time reduced by 0.1 seconds, and Heal increased by 3% a second for 5 times. That could be very powerful if you're trying to become like a tank healer or something along that sorts. This could really help out your single target healing. Maybe use on just single target healing fights where you're flash healing a lot. However, the thing is, the flash heal is still the same. It's your inefficient heal, so you might if you use it too much. So I don't know how this legendary is going to work for Holy, especially since you're a raid healer typically. This legendary probably will not have use just for maybe like a niche thing you're trying to do for a specific fight. So that's a neck and wrist slot. Harmonious Apparatus. Circle of Healing reduces cooldown of Holy Ward Sanctify, Prayer of Mending, and reduces the cooldown of Holy Ward Serenity. And Holy Fire reduces the cooldown of Holy Ward Chastity by about 4 seconds. Like, what the heck is going on here? Circle of Healing reduces the cooldown of all of those. And then, okay. So Circle of Healing reduces Sanctify, Prayer of Mending. No, okay. Circle of Healing reduces the cooldown of Sanctify. Prayer of Mending reduces the cooldown of Holy Word Serenity. And Holy Fire reduces the cooldown of Holy Word Chastise by 4 seconds. Woo! That's a lot to take on there. So that I can see some use to me on knowledge because you're using these spells to reduce the cooldowns of those spells, which help you do other things. So this could have some use. Circle of Healing. I believe you use this. Yeah, so this is part of your healing rotation, and then it reduces Sanctify. So that's OP right there. Prayer of Mending you use, well, I'm not sure anymore. You used to use this off cooldown, and then Serenity was your really big, like, huge, massive single target heal. So that's really good that those two right there, Prayer of Mending and Circle of Healing, I imagine will be used off cooldown anyways. So making your wards just come off cooldown really, really fast. Um, this I think this is how you healed in Legion, if I remember correctly. This is what T17 is. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I had some top parses on Holy Priest back in those days. So yeah, that's what the only thing that's different is Holy Fire reduces the cooldown of Holy Chastise, which is DPS. I mean, this gives you a little bit of everything. This is really good legendary, I think. I think it has high potential of gameplay. Maybe Mythic Plus, maybe in Raid. In Raid, though, I mean, the first two, Circle of Healing and Prayer of Mending, reducing your Holy Wards, that was on T17, I'm pretty sure, and that was a lot of fun. You just were just juggernaut, just as much as you can get those heals out, and then you were just Holy Warding off cooldown, just having a blast. Um, just a straight up turret, just having a whole lot of fun. Um, Zanashi, Return of the Archbishop Benedictus, Jesus, these names. Benedictus? Oh man, that's a big one. Okay, let's see what it does. Spirit Redemption expires. You will revive at up to 100% health based on your effectiveness during Spirit Redemption. After reviving, you cannot benefit from Spirit Redemption. Oh, this is the cloak, dude, from Legion. Oh, that's why they said the return. Okay, so if you guys don't know, this legendary was broken for parsing in Legion. So what people would do is they would they get all the innervates in the raid. They would use all their mana cooldowns, everything they possibly could. They'd go hard as they can. Don't give a shit about effectiveness of healing or anything or mana. And they would eventually get to the point where they And once they after using all that stuff, they would go stand in something and die, go spirit form, and then heal as much as they can during spirit form. And then they get reborn with a percentage of their health. At 100% health, based on the effectiveness of their spirit redemption. If I remember correctly, I don't think they got full mana, but I think they had like around half mana or 30% mana. That's a lot of mana. And then they could use their potions again. They were able to use all kinds of stuff. Now, obviously, there's going to be a little bit less because I heard in Shadowlands, the potions are just going to be on a flat cooldown no matter what. So if you die, come back, it won't matter. But you still get a little bit of mana back out of that, I'm pretty sure. So that's really cool. And the other thing I really liked about this legendary is, like, say you had someone who wasn't the best player, maybe got hit by a lot of mechanics, giving them this item really gave them like a get out free jail card, and it allowed them to get out of situations like where normally you'd be yelling at them as a raid leader. Do you have cloak? Yes. Okay. We had actually had a priest who, believe it or not, actually became like a top U.S. Holy priest, one of the highest parsing. He ended up changing his name because he was so embarrassed by how bad he was when he first started. But once he became good, I mean, he was really good. But I remember so many times. Do you have cloak on? Do you have cloak? You have cloak up? Yeah. Okay. All right. Because you gives them that. Okay. They're not gonna. I can pretend that didn't happen, and we can continue with our progression. So, very good legendary. So, like I said, if you're a priest, not the best player, but you like playing with the boys, you tend to make a mistake more than everybody else. Using this for your progression before you get really good at the fight, it just helps you out. Don't be like, I don't worry, I have cloak. You know. All right, your Bay leader might have a little bit more sanity for you. But yeah, anyways, good legendary. It's fun. I think if I had to choose between these, that's hard. These last two are really, really, really good. I'm gonna say Harmonious Apparatus is gonna be actually better than the cloak just because of the nerf to the potions. Um, I mean, it's really strong. It has so much utility in multiple things. So even if you're in a Mythic Plus, you want to do damage, you can do that with this legendary, and it really, really will affect your HPS. So I think Harmonious Apparatus looks really, really good for Holy. Obviously the Cloak Legendary, which will be on your legs or back this time, guys. Obviously still has a lot of good use, especially in Mythic Plus, where Let's face it, Holy Priests don't have a lot of external cooldowns or cooldowns that they can put on themselves to reduce the damage of a mechanic. So in a high key, you might expect to just die. So if you expect to die, you plan to die, just bring your cloak or bring this legendary effect. This legendary effect will prevent you from dying, or at least bring you back, and you know help stop the reduction of time from the Mythic Plus key. So good one, guys. Holy Priest has some good legendaries. All right, guys, that was the Holy Priest and Dispriest legendary video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you on the next one. This is Tarnish. Tarnish out.